Welcome to Deep Dive. Today, we are really getting into something pretty specific, but also super critical for a lot of people. We're looking at the H-1B visa interview, specifically what happens and what can happen when, a really key document goes missing. We've got a case study, actually, a recent success story, where someone got their visa approved even without the original I-797 notice of action, which is, well, kind of a big deal.
It really is. That original I-797, it's often seen as like the cornerstone proof of the H-1B petition approval. So when it's not there, that's not just a paperwork glitch. It usually sets off alarm bells. Serious scrutiny. Our goal here is to kind of unpack how this applicant managed it. What strategies did they use? We want to give you, the listener, a sort of practical roadmap. What can you do if you hit a similar document snag, especially if you're in that F1 to H-1B transition?
Okay, let's start right there. The I-797. For anyone maybe less familiar, can you just quickly explain what it is and why consular officers want the original papers so badly? Why isn't a good photocopy usually enough?
That's a great question to start with. So the I-797 form, it's the official notification from USCIS saying, yes, the employer's petition for this worker is approved. But the original, well, it's printed on special security paper. Think watermarks, maybe microprinting, things like that. These features are there to prevent fraud. An officer can often quickly verify an original by feel and sight. It's a shortcut to trust, basically.
Okay, so it's a security thing. A copy doesn't have those tangible features.
Exactly. If you only have a copy, the officer then has to spend extra time digging into systems to verify the approval independently. It slows things down, and frankly, it can raise suspicion right from the start.
And the person in the specific case we're looking at, they're making that jump from F1 student status to H-1B worker status.
That's right, which makes the stakes even higher, The whole point of the interview is to confirm this transition is legitimate based on an approved petition. So when this applicant showed up for their interview and couldn't produce that original I-797, yeah, that was an immediate red flag for the officer. The standard proof wasn't there. The whole focus shifts from, let's review your qualifications, to, wait, is this petition even really approved?
Wow. Yeah, that sounds like it could easily end in a denial right there. So what happened? What was the pivot? How did they manage to overcome that missing piece? Preparation, you said.
They went for a strategy of, let's call it, compelling alternatives. They knew they couldn't provide the primary proof, the original paper. So the idea was to build such a strong, multi-layered case with secondary evidence that the sheer weight of it would overcome the doubt created by the missing original. It wasn't really about replacing the I-797 security features, but about replacing the officer's doubt with certainty through other means.
Okay, I really want to break down that package. What exactly did they present? If someone listening is in this situation, what are the concrete things they need to gather? Let's start with the I-797 itself.
Right. So the first thing they had was a certified copy of the I-797. And that word certified is key here. This wasn't just a photocopy they ran off themselves. It was a copy obtained from the petitioner, the employer, or maybe their immigration lawyer, formally certifying it as a true copy of the original they possessed.
Okay, that makes sense. It adds a layer of credibility because it ties back to the employer, the one who filed the petition.
Precisely. It shifts some of the trust onto the organization. Then, the second piece was showing the petition's history.
Like tracing its journey.
Exactly. Redundant proof of the life cycle. They gathered everything. The initial receipt notice showing USCIS got the application, proof of fee payments, screenshots from the official USCIS case status online portal. Critically, those screenshots showed the progression, especially the final approved status. It builds a verifiable timeline for the officer, step-by-step evidence.
So the officer could see the certified copy, see the digital trail, see the receipts, and it all starts to paint a picture. What about the employer's role beyond just certifying the copy?
Oh, absolutely crucial. They provided a very strong, detailed employer support letter. And this wasn't just a generic, yes, we hired this person. No, it went deep. It confirmed the approved H-1B petition number again, gave a detailed breakdown of the job duties, making sure it clearly met the specialty occupation, standard, stated the exact wage, confirmed they were following all the labor condition application rules. It left no room for doubt about the job itself or the employer's commitment to compliance. That's often a sticking point.
It sounds like an incredibly thorough documentary package. But documents are one thing, the actual interview is another. I imagine you could have perfect papers but still mess it up if you seem unsure or inconsistent.
You're spot on. That's the final critical piece, consistency. The applicant made sure their verbal answers in the interview matched everything. Every detail had to align perfectly with the documents they submitted, and maybe most importantly, with the info they'd already put in their online DS-160 visa application form.
Ah, the DS-160.
Yeah. Any little discrepancy, a slightly different job title, getting a start date wrong, fumbling the salary figure, can immediately look like deception or error. It can undermine all the good work the documents do.
So putting it all together, the consular officer looked at this whole package, the certified copy, the digital trail, the strong employer letter, the applicant's consistent answers, and decided that the combined evidence, the data, was strong enough to outweigh the missing physical original I-797.
That's the core of it, yes. The sheer completeness and coherence of all that supporting information managed to mitigate the risk the officer felt because the original wasn't there. It suggests it wasn't just luck or a lenient officer, but rather a win based on really solid, undeniable proof presented effectively.
This is incredibly useful. It really does offer a kind of roadmap. Can we distill this down into, say, 5 key takeaways or tips for listeners planning their own interviews, especially if they're worried about document issues?
Absolutely. Let's try that. So first off, dealing with the missing original. Tip 1, get certified copies. If that original I-797 is delayed or lost, and this happens, mail gets lost, processing takes time, don't just make a simple photocopy. Work immediately with your employer or their immigration lawyer to get a certified or authenticated copy. It carries much more weight.
Good point. Okay, what's tip 2? You mentioned the employer's role.
Tip 2, your employer's letter needs details. A generic HR letter just won't cut it. It needs specifics. Petition number, job duties explained well, matching the petition. The wage, confirmation of LCA compliance. It has to show the employer is serious and understands the H-1B rules, builds trust.
Makes sense. Okay, tip 3 relates to what you said about the interview itself.
Tip 3, consistency is king. Know your DS-160 inside and out. Practice your answers. Your job title, your duties, your start date, salary, even your address. It all needs to match your paperwork and what you submitted online. Any vagueness or inconsistency is a potential problem. Seriously, we've seen issues arise over small details.
Right, practice those details. Tip 4 sounds like it's about having multiple layers of proof. Tip 4, build redundancy into your proof. Don't rely on just one document for one fact. Gather everything. Receipts, filing forms, the approval notice, even the copy, online status printouts. Layer them together so they tell a consistent, unbroken story of the petition's approval. Multiple angles of proof.
Exactly. And that leads to the final tip. Tip 5, plan for problems proactively. Don't wait until the week before your interview to realize the original I-797 hasn't arrived. As soon as that petition is approved, think about contingency. If there's any sign of delay, start asking about certified copies or duplicates right away. Plan B should be ready.
That's a fantastic set of actionable points. Really practical. But we need to add a dose of reality here, don't we? This case was a success, but it's probably not the norm. We should stress this isn't a guaranteed workaround.
Absolutely critical point. Yes, this is an exception. Consular officers have enormous discretion. You cannot walk in expecting this strategy to work automatically. Several things can change the outcome. For instance, the specific U.S. consulate or embassy matters. Some posts, maybe those dealing with higher volumes or perceived fraud risks, might just have a stricter, non-negotiable policy about original documents, period.
And the officer themselves, right?
Yeah.
Their individual experience, maybe even their mood that day.
For sure. Some officers might be more willing or trained to look at the totality of the evidence if the underlying case seems strong. Others might just stick rigidly to the checklist. Original I-797. No. Next. Plus, the quality of your backup package has to be impeccable, like truly comprehensive and coherent. A messy or incomplete set of documents won't do it. And of course, the underlying petition itself matters. A strong employer, a very clear specialty occupation role that helps build the foundation of trust. This successful case likely had all those elements perfectly aligned.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what this deep dive really shows is that while that original I-797 is incredibly important, maybe even vital most of the time, it doesn't always have to be a dead end if it's missing. A really meticulous, strategic approach using things like certified copies, strong employer backing, rock-solid corroborating evidence, and just perfect consistency from the applicant, it can sometimes overcome even a major hurdle like this.
Exactly. I think this case offers real encouragement. It highlights that in these complex immigration situations, thorough preparation isn't just about being careful. It can actually be your best tool to compensate when things inevitably go wrong, like with missing documents or delays. Preparation is power.
All the best.
Yeah.
We will meet again with another important matter again.